watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James. And this is the TVR Sagaris.
Or Sargaris. However you want to say it, it remains the final production offering of car manufacturer TVR, a company named because its creator just grabbed some letters from his own name. Thanks, Trevor. British through and through, it is a handmade, lightweight, no-nonsense sports car that, thanks to local owner Rob, now gets to appear on Throttle House. Only about 200 were made, and it was 50,000 British pounds sterling when it was new. This particular car has already had a bit of a life in the spotlight, which we'll get to later. But all you need to know for now is that, like the ancient battle axe it's named after, it is not a product of complexity.
It's the product of dreamers. Oh yes. Oh, that is a long throttle pedal. You've got to bury your foot deep in there, and then that will get you to 60 miles an hour in 3.7 seconds. It's raw, it's analog, and it's powerful. This weighs 1,000 pounds less than a Lotus Emira, and yet somehow, from its naturally aspirated straight six, it makes the same 400 horsepower in 2005.
That's quite remarkable, to think people went mad for the E46 M3 engine only a few years before. This has 40 more horsepower than the M3 CSL, and a lot less weight to move. It achieves its horsepower with a big 4 litres of displacement, independent throttle bodies, and by being okay with decades of trial and error by its own customers on previous TVRs. Because apparently, with the Sargaris, it finally got quite a bit more reliable, despite its enhanced power.
And somehow, it's not that scary to drive. But the driving position is great. The shifter feels great. The throttle pedal, long throw, but light. The clutch, reasonably weighted, lots of control, feels good. The torque curve is flat. From about 2,500 RPM, that's my foot to the floor there, it builds, but not so much. You've basically got all of that torque down low, thanks to the 4 litres of displacement. And for the same reason, I guess, it doesn't sing on its way up. It's quite deep, it's quite guttural. But it's not sonorous. It's British. Someone made this while drinking a bottle of water. Bottle of water. Oh yes. Let's make those shift lights shine. Ooh. Okay. So it is quick. It's quick. I asked Thomas if he wanted to come with me for this, but apparently I've got a bad reputation with him of spinning in dangerous cars. That's okay. It's lighter this way. One of the most unique sports car experiences out there. What a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Alright, the thing you have to know about the Sagaris is that it's not a normal car. Most modern cars, or most cars ever, are unibody chassis. That means they're a bunch of steel shapes kind of put together roughly in the shape of a car, then some steel panels put over top. This is a tubular frame steel chassis with fiberglass panels. That means that this is basically a giant roll cage with some paper mache on the outside. But that's not the only reason it's light. It's also light because it has absolutely no safety systems whatsoever.
That's right, no anti-lock brakes, no traction control, and no airbags. Why? Well, then TVR boss Peter Wheeler genuinely thought that they provided a false sense of confidence. They would breed laziness, complacency, and the driver was better off in a car that required attention and skill, a car that simply handled well. assuming you knew how to handle it.
Interesting philosophy. Let's see. Oh. The immediacy with which the car changes direction is really, really... Notice me, see me fly out of the seat. I didn't expect it to turn in that hard. Unreal. Wow. The way that it goes over the bumps too is just... It's so delicate. It's just unreal. And you know what? I'm not afraid, really. Some cars you get in, you're instantly afraid in them. This is not one of those. I just kind of... You hook into it. You connect to it right away. Interesting. It's just the... It's the gift of lightweight. It instantly lets you know what the car is and what it isn't. How it works. When you do this, it does that. It really is making me responsible. Right? It's like, ask not what your car could do for you, ask what you can do for your car. I'm valuable. This is the first time I've felt valued in my life. There's the warning light on the dashboard for fuel. Actually, TVR just threw in a couple buttons on the back of the steering wheel here. You just click those, and it goes away. You just do this, just this motion, and fixes the problem. The steering is just excellent. It's actually quite light, but that's not because it's overboosted. That's just because the car is light. The philosophy works. It really does. There's no complacency. I'm aware of the fact there's no ABS, but it's not an issue. Since I can detect the limit of the brakes and the tires so easily through my butt and my hands and my feet, I'm not nervous pushing it. I'm in control. I'm responsible. That's a lovely car. It really is. Wow.
I spent a bit more time soaking up what is one of the great driver's cars, and eventually I started wondering why this company isn't still leading the charge of performance cars. Then, just as I pulled in to chat to James, the Sargaris decided it was done functioning for the day, and as I rolled in using silent momentum only, I remembered why TVR is no longer with us.
Right then. I think we can say it made it.
That counts, right?
That counts.
That counts. This is actually a better angle anyway. This is a lovely car to drive.
Sounds great. Great. And it looks good stationary as well. Which
is a good thing, I guess.
Really good thing.
So it's surprising because like you hear that much horsepower, you hear no driver aids, you hear all of those things, and you go in a little bit nervous.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, your knuckles are white before you've even touched the wheel.
But there is nothing to be nervous about.
No.
It drives incredibly nicely and easily.
We both immediately died when we drove it.
No, there would be no planes.
True.
Yes.
True.
In heaven, there's no planes when I'm trying to make a video for YouTube. Yeah.
We actually are investing in some anti-aircraft firms at the moment. So, check out the side exit exhausts.
I know. They are really cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
So I read,
okay,
and from a very reliable source,
yes,
it was a YouTube comment,
okay,
that they are side exit like that because when they were doing the testing to get type approved, they disconnected one of them, the one facing the sound tester,
cheeky,
and then passed the test, and as a result, kept it like that.
I hope that's true.
I know. It's like the Colin Chapman thing where he sent Lotus 7s across.
Yes, exactly.
To uninstall.
And Launcher did something similar.
But right? I don't think it's true. That one's not true.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Another potential legend, actually. These louvres on the hood, louvres.
Yeah.
But they're not because they're not cut out. They're just a shape in the fender.
Yeah.
Right. Now I think the legend went that they were cut out, and then stones would get kicked up and hit the windscreen. So TVR was nice enough to just cap them off for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's not true. I've heard that potentially the truth is it was too expensive to cut them out after this came out of the fiberglass mold, so they just said, here they are. They look good, don't they?
The attitude about everything we learn about this company is like, yeah.
You know, it's fine,
Yeah. It's
No,
like you're making a car that's going to be, like, people's lives are going to depend on this. Like,
it better be good.
Yeah.
Learn how to drive, son.
It is at least painted exquisitely in chameleon orange.
Is that the name?
Chameleon orange.
Yes.
So it does change depending on where you're looking at. You might see yellow. I see a sort of a lighter orange going into dark orange. The point is, what do you see when you see this car?
What? I see a TVR because you can't see anything else.
I see a British Viper.
Oh!
This gives me at least the same vibes and that same road presence as when we drove that Viper ACR, which was, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly cool. There's not a part of it that I don't like. Do you know what I mean?
It's good from every angle.
I'm not a huge fan of this style of rear wing situation here. Anyway, I love that you can see the roll cage stitched through the glass here. That's really, really cool looking.
You know what this is? This is the Brits realizing, and I'm not just disparaging the Brits, right? Because that would technically be treason.
Yeah.
But this is the Brits realizing what you want in a sports car. Looks, sound, power, raw, analog. It's everything that everyone's now going, hang on, we should make resto mods to recapture this.
Yes.
They already had it, and this is 2005.
It is everything that you want in a sports car. There isn't actually a single thing. You know what? I wouldn't mind some ABS. Just because then you don't have to be terrified to drive it in the rain. I don't mind the no traction control thing, that's fine. But ABS is nice.
It's lovely, yeah.
It's a comfort.
And you know what? You look at the other stuff the Brits were making at the time. You got the Lotus Elise.
Yep.
And then you got the Noble M400.
Yeah, well, there's also like an Aston Martin Vantage.
Yeah, but that's real. That's a real car.
It's
I'm talking about the Pinocchios, you know.
Right,
like,
yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. How do you open the hood?
And credit to the Americans, they were making the Ford GT at the time.
That's true, yes.
Okay, so that silver horseshoe, you have to unscrew that one, but to take this piece off.
Oh, this is like a little mini access panel.
You pull these out.
Okay.
And then do a little quarter turn.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. And then you take the whole thing.
Very carefully pick up this piece of fiberglass.
Doesn't look very heavy.
And there's your straight six.
Individual throttle bodies.
Yeah.
Mid-mounted. It's a really cool looking thing. Let's see the radiator fans going that way. Air comes in there, I guess.
Timeless. If this came out today,
you could tell me this is a modern car. Look at the bubble on the roof for the driver, by the way.
I know.
You see that? Just for the driver.
That wasn't even there this morning. It was just in the sun.
Yes, right. Yeah. It actually went over one really big bump. And that's why it looks
I like
like
that they've done clean things. I like that the boot opens by pressing the Sagaris logo.
Yeah.
I like that the opening the doors is hidden under the wing mirrors. Like, it's clean without doing electric recessed door handles that pop out.
Well, there's a lot of funny buttons. You want to go take a look inside?
Yeah.
There's some fun stuff in there.
Yeah, I just got to be.
Yeah, good luck.
Carefully put this back.
This is how you open the door. Watch this. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Look at what? There's not much to look at.
Oh. It's like a swoop.
And then 3 buttons.
Listen, this was designed by 4 of the most English men you've ever heard of.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, what are the names? You got them?
Graham Brown, Lee Hodgetts, Darren Hobbs, and Martin Smith.
You just need a Gary in there and you're good.
Sounds like I'm doing the register for the rugby team.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah. No, it's lovely and Spartan and very, well, you know what, I would say driver focused, but it's actually transmission focused. Like the transmission.
He takes the center stage here.
Yeah, the transmission is very prioritized in the cabin.
Yeah, it's a hell of a tunnel.
Yeah, there's no dead pedal for the clutch. You just hover your foot over the clutch, and like there's no. I'm on the door.
Yes.
Like I'm sitting on the door frame.
It's not thirds, it's fifths.
You're in
exactly. This feels like the inside of a Hummer H1, where it's got like a giant
that's right,
workstation in between.
Yeah. And nothing's labeled, right? Like that's the door, like that's their door switch.
Yes.
There's the window switches. No idea what that one does.
It's a mystery item.
These I assume are climate control.
Got a bit of storage space.
Yeah. You can see the roll bar. It's really cool. Yeah.
You can see the roll bar.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not honestly that much to talk about. It's leather trimmed. It's nice. The driving position is good, despite the fact that I am like sitting on the bit that you usually rest your elbow on for the door.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the most shocking thing is just how not scary it is.
No, that is easily the biggest takeaway of the day is that I went in going like, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Like, no ABS, no traction control, 400 something. Like
The visuals of it,
Yeah,
being
it was-
inside with the roll cage.
Yeah, no, it's so easy to drive, so easy to around the corners. Everything is just perfectly intuitive and feedbacks brilliantly. It's a really, really cool car. It really is.
Well, we've started our introduction to TVR with the latest TVR.
With the top, basically, right? It's only downhill from here, from what I've heard. This is when they fixed the handling.
When we first started trying to film TVRs about 57 years ago, there was rumor that it was coming back and they were redoing the Griffith.
Yeah.
And then there was like EVs or not EVs. And that hasn't actually changed in this time.
No.
Still no sign of it.
No sign.
But I did say when I was driving it, China, don't
Yep.
you buy TVR and start making a Lotus Electra alternative.
Please don't do that. Leave it alone.
Leave Britain alone.
One final fun fact about this particular car.
Go on.
This is the car that was actually in Top Gear that Jeremy Clarkson drove all those years ago.
All right. So once again, with Jeremy Clarkson's sloppy seconds.
Yes. Why does that keep happening?
We signed a contract for one of them.
That's true.
Sloppy seconds it may be, but sloppy it is not. It's refreshingly analog, hardcore, and yet somehow could do the date-night duty just fine, as long as you're okay with Ubering home. Could it sound better? Yes. Could it have benefited from maybe an airbag or ABS? Also yes. It's not perfect, but it looks the part, drives like the bee's knees, and is 100% British. And that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching.